"There's no way," I whispered, staring at the screen. The email was from Wells Fargo, flagged as a final closing disclosure. My mom's name was on it, but mine? Nowhere. Not under cosigner, not under buyer, just gone. I stared at it, thinking it had to be a mistake, until I scrolled all the way down. She'd sold the house, the one I paid off, in full, 5 years ago. Behind my back, my name's Evan Carter. I'm 36. I'm a senior systems engineer based in Denver. I don't talk much, and when I do, I measure my words. I listen more than I speak. I'm the guy people hand the O-cord to during road trips because they know I won't make it about me. Quiet strength. That's what my college girlfriend used to call it. When my dad died, I was 19. My mom fell apart. My younger brother spiraled. My sister was still in high school. Someone had to be the adult in the room. That became me. Not because I was the oldest, but because no one else stepped up. I worked 2 jobs through college. Took out loans to help put my brother through trade school. Covered our utilities from 1,000 miles away. Then when Mom called crying in 2017 saying the bank was going to take the house unless she caught up on the mortgage, I drained everything I had, $382,000 in cash and stock, and paid it off. She told me I saved her life. I believed her. But something changed over the years. The gratitude vanished. My brother, Tyler, started calling me moneybags whenever I showed up at Thanksgiving. My sister Jenna would send me baby registry links like they were invoices. Mom would joke, "Don't complain, you make 6 figures." Somewhere along the way, I stopped being their son and brother. I became their safety net, their bank. Back to the house. After I saw that email, I called Mom right away. She picked up, cheerful as ever. "Hi, honey. How's work?" I didn't waste time. "Did you sell the house?" She paused. "Oh yeah, I was going to tell you. It's just gotten too big for me, you know? I'm moving closer to Jenna. There's a nice little ranch style near her place." "You sold the house I paid off," I said. "Well, I mean, I lived in it for decades. It's not like you ever planned to move back." "I didn't say that. I said I bought it for you to live in, not to sell." Her voice changed, flat, defensive. "Oh, for God's sake, Evan, don't be dramatic. It's just a house. You don't even live in this state anymore. What do you care?" I almost laughed. "What do I care?" "Because my name should be on the deed. Because I was never told. Because this feels like theft." That's when she said it. "You always make everything about money." That sentence hit harder than she probably realized. Because for the past decade, I've spent so much of my energy not making things about money. I sent Jenna $4,000 when her husband lost his job, and never brought it up again. I bought Tyler's tools when he wanted to start his own business. Paid for Mom's medical bills. Canceled a vacation to help replace her roof. Not once did I ask for it back. What I wanted wasn't repayment. It was respect. Or, at the very least, a heads up before they sell something that legally belongs to me. Later that night, I called a friend of mine, Natalie, who works in real estate. I asked her to pull property records on the house. The ownership had been transferred to my mom 3 years ago, via quitclaim deed. One that I had supposedly signed, only I hadn't. Natalie sent over a copy. My name was at the bottom, in neat looping cursive. I print my signature in block letters. Always have. "Evan," Natalie texted. "I don't want to alarm you, but this signature looks off." I stared at the screen. It was forged. I sat in silence for a long time that night. I opened the drawer where I keep old cards and letters. Found one from my mom on my 30th birthday. "I'm proud of the man you've become. You've always been the glue holding this family together. But glue cracks when it's stretched too thin." I'd paid for stability. Sacrificed years of my life to keep people afloat. And now they were selling off pieces of what I built, without a word, without remorse. The next morning I called Mom again. "Did you forge my signature?" I asked. The silence on the other end was deafening. Then she said, "You weren't using it. I needed options." I didn't reply to my mom after she said, "You weren't using it. I needed options." She said it like it made sense. Like I was just a name on a spare car title. Like forgery and real estate fraud were okay if it helped her explore options. I hung up. And for the first time in years, I didn't call back the next day. Instead, I started pulling receipts. I went through my emails, text threads, old bank records, everything. I downloaded statements from my brokerage and scrolled all the way back to 2017. The transfer for $382,000 wired to the mortgage company on her behalf. I had the proof. But what hit harder than the number was the subject line on the email. "Mom's house, final payment." I remembered writing that like I was proud. Like it meant something. I didn't sleep much that week. I kept replaying the last few years. Noticing the signs I'd missed or ignored. Like how every conversation with my mom had started sounding like a pitch. She'd call and ask how work was, then slide in. Your sister's daycare just raised their rates again. Or how my brother Tyler hadn't spoken to me in months until he texted last December. Yo, you think you could Venmo me like 2,000 for the business? Just until my next job kicks in. Or how Jenna once asked if I'd ever just transfer the deed to mom so she could make medical decisions easier. I'd said no. Maybe that's when the forgery happened. I debated calling the cops. Or hiring a lawyer, but something told me to wait because this wasn't just about money or property, it was about truth. And if my family had crossed this line, I needed to know how far they were willing to go. 3 days after I found out about the forged deed, I got a text from Jenna. Jenna, hey big bro, can you help me look at this new house listing for mom? Thinking you could help with down payment again. No apology. No mention of the sale. Just another ask. I didn't reply. An hour later, I got added to a group chat titled Fam Future with Mom, Jenna, and Tyler. First message was from Jenna. Jenna, so we all agree mom should put a big down payment on the new house, but keep it in her name, right? Not like last time. No more Evan drama, lol, I froze. Then Tyler chimed in. Tyler, yeah, honestly, this is better. Evan was getting weird about it anyway. Then Jenna again. Jenna, you think he even knows it's sold? I stared at the screen. They didn't know I was in the group yet. I didn't say anything. Not yet. Instead, I did what any engineer would do. I screenshotted everything. Every message. Every laughing emoji. Every petty little comment about how I overreact or act like he's the dad of the family. Tyler joked that maybe I'd Venmo them again if they made it sound like an emergency. Jenna said she could get mom to fake a surgery bill if needed. I watched my family plan their next con like I wasn't even real. And the worst part? They weren't scared. Because I'd always forgiven them. Always kept things quiet. Always wrote the check. Not this time. That weekend, I met up with Claire, a friend from college who now works in financial forensics and estate fraud cases. Over black coffee and legal pads, I walked her through everything. She said what I didn't want to hear. This is going to get ugly, but you have a case. A real one. She asked me if I wanted to press charges. I didn't answer. Not yet. Instead, I sent Jenna a text. Me. Just saw the group chat. Interesting stuff. She left me on read for 5 hours. Then responded, Jenna, oh come on, we're just joking. You always take everything so seriously. Tyler sent me a separate message. Tyler, bro, you really think mom would screw you over? Chill out. I didn't respond, but I did something else. I started collecting every transfer I'd ever sent them, every Venmo screenshot, every Zillow memo. For Jenna's car repairs, $650. Tyler rent, $1,200. Mom urgent ER, $5,000. Tyler again, $2,000. Jenna baby stuff, $950. It added up. Over $147,000 outside the house. And that's not counting the thousands I spent flying home, covering holidays, sending groceries, replacing appliances. A few nights later, I got a phone call from mom. No greeting. Just, you made your sister cry. Was that your goal? I stayed silent. She sighed. You have no idea how hard it's been since your dad passed. I've done my best, but you act like everything should come with a receipt. I finally spoke. No, Mom, I act like things should come with honesty. She didn't like that. Before hanging up, she said something I'll never forget. You've always needed to feel like the hero. Maybe it's time you learned families aren't fairy tales. That night, I filed the fraud report. Not out of rage, not for revenge, but for clarity. Because if family can forge your name and sell your house and laugh about it in a group chat, then maybe it's not your family anymore. You'd think filing a fraud report against your own mother would feel dramatic. It didn't. It felt quiet, cold, like walking into a storm barefoot, knowing there's no umbrella waiting for you on the other side. After I filed, everything slowed down. There were forms to fill out, statements to write, documents to notarize. I had to send in my ID, my signature samples, the original deed, and the forged one. The woman from the state fraud unit, Dana, told me, "You're not the first person to be betrayed by family, Evan, but you might be the most prepared." A week later, Claire called. I pulled the title company records. You were right. The notary's stamp used for the quitclaim deed was revoked 2 years ago. And the notary's name? She's never worked with your family. She lives in Oregon. Translation? The forgery wasn't sloppy. It was deliberate. It wasn't a one-time bad choice. They had gone out of their way to fake a legal document with a fake notary just to take the house and the equity attached to it. But why? Why steal something you already had free access to? The answer came 2 days later when I got an anonymous DM on Instagram. No name. Just a burner account with 0 followers. Thought you should know. Your mom didn't downsize. She co-signed on a new build for Tyler's business. I didn't believe it at first. Until they sent the photos. A modern commercial build, still under construction in Colorado Springs. Industrial space with a warehouse and retail frontage. And a banner. Coming soon, Carter Auto and Detail, family owned and operated. I looked up the property records. It was real. Purchased under an LLC, Carter Solutions Group, registered to Tyler Carter and Margaret Carter. My mom? No Jenna. No ranch-style house near her. Just a mother co-signing a 6-figure commercial loan for her son, using the proceeds from the house I paid off. I sat in my apartment staring at the listing. My coffee had gone cold. My fingers felt numb. This wasn't just about betrayal anymore. It was about reallocation. They didn't just cut me out. They used me to build someone else's dream. And covered it up with fake stories, fake tears, and a forged signature. That night, I didn't drink. I went for a walk. It was windy in Denver, the kind of night that makes your jacket feel thinner than it is. I walked until my legs ached. Thought about the time I paid Tyler's bail when he got picked up for unpaid parking tickets. The time I drove 6 hours round trip to help Jenna move apartments while she complained that I didn't bring snacks. The time Mom texted me, "You're the only man I trust in this world." And now? She trusts Tyler's business plan more than she ever trusted my boundaries. I considered confronting them again, but I didn't. Instead, I started documenting everything with intention. I made a spreadsheet, every dollar sent, every date, every memo line, every text thread where they asked for more. I started a file called Carter Family Audit. A few days later, I got a call from Dana, the state fraud investigator. "We've got a preliminary finding. The quitclaim deed is invalid, legally unenforceable. Based on your sworn affidavit and the forged notary stamp, we're flagging it for referral to the DA." That said, she hesitated. "Your mom and brother could be looking at felony counts. Real estate fraud. Possibly wire fraud, depending on how the transaction was processed." I asked what happens next. She said it was up to me. "You want to press charges? Or just reverse the transfer quietly and walk away?" I didn't answer, not yet. That weekend, I drove out to Colorado Springs. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. The building wasn't done yet, but the banner was up. Fresh pavement, a glass front office. Even a printed hiring sign taped to the temporary door. I walked around the lot, hands in my pockets. Then I saw them. Tyler and my mom. Standing in front of the building, taking photos, laughing, hugging. He handed her what looked like a check. She kissed him on the cheek. That check was mine. I could feel it in my bones. I turned around and walked back to my car before they saw me. When I got home, I opened my phone and recorded a short video. Just my voice. "You never apologized. You never even hesitated. You took what I gave you freely and you twisted it into something transactional. Then you sold the roof over your own head to fund your favorite son's pipe dream. I didn't lose a house. I lost the illusion that I mattered to you. I didn't post it, not yet. But it was the first time I'd said it out loud. 2 days later, I got a group text. "Mom, family dinner Sunday. Jenna's bringing a new dessert she made from scratch. Evan, hope you can come." No mention of the house, the forgery, the investigation. Like nothing had happened, like my silence meant forgiveness, but I didn't reply. Not because I was done with them, but because I wasn't done with me. I showed up late. They were already seated when I walked into the house I once called home. It looked different now, staged for sale. Sparse furniture, cheap flowers and glass vases. Half the photos gone from the walls, but the smell was the same. Cinnamon rolls, warm butter, Jenna's signature attempt at hospitality. "Look who finally decided to show," Tyler said with a smirk. My mom stood up and hugged me, her tone syrupy sweet. "You've been so quiet, sweetheart. We thought something was wrong." Jenna added, "Glad you're here. Really, I think we all need this reset." Reset. That's what they thought this was, a soft reboot. Clear the cache, reboot the golden ATM. But I didn't come for closure. I came for clarity. I waited until the plates were cleared. Until the polite laughter died down. Until Mom started telling a story about how I once built her a spreadsheet to track her garden supplies. Everyone chuckled. That's when I reached down, pulled out the manila folder I'd tucked under my seat, and laid it on the table. "We're not doing dessert tonight," I said. Mom blinked. "Excuse me? We're doing math, and facts, and signatures." I opened the folder, laid out where. A notarized affidavit from the real notary stating she had never worked with the Carters. A digital forensic analysis of the forged signature. Screenshots of the group chat I was accidentally added to. Financial statements of every transfer I'd made to each of them, itemized. A printed offer from the DA's office with attached charges labeled real estate fraud, forgery, conspiracy to commit wire fraud. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't curse. I just let the silence crawl across the table like a fog. Jenna spoke first. "What is this?" Tyler leaned forward. "Bro, are you trying to sue your own family?" I looked at him and said evenly, "No, I'm trying to hold him accountable." Then I looked at my mom. "And I'm giving you a choice." Her lips parted, but no words came. I slid 2 pages in front of her, a withdrawal letter for the fraudulent deed, a formal agreement to relinquish any financial claim to the commercial property she co-signed on. If she signed both, I would not press criminal charges. I would walk away, not as her son, but as a free man. She stared at the pages, then whispered, "How could you do this to us?" I almost laughed. "You forged my name, sold my house, funded Tyler's business with my money, lied about everything, and then invited me to dinner like it never happened." "I didn't do this to you. You did this to me." Tyler stood up. "This is such a damn overreaction. You think money gives you the right to humiliate us?" I turned to him, calm, steady. "No, I think lies have consequences." He lunged forward. "You're a snake, Evan." "No," I said. "I was your spine," until I stopped bending. Jenna looked like she was about to cry, but she didn't apologize. None of them did. In the end, Mom signed. Silently, no eye contact. Just ink on paper, as cold as the signature she forged years ago. I gathered the papers, placed them back in the folder, and stood. This family keeps confusing silence with approval. You never noticed I stopped talking because you were too loud cashing the checks. You won't hear from me again. And I left. The next morning, I emailed the signed documents to the DA's office with a simple note. "I've reached a resolution. I won't be pursuing charges. This file is now closed." Then I blocked their numbers, deleted the group chat, removed myself from the family tree in every sense that matters. A week later, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Jenna. "I know you're done with us, but I read that spreadsheet. I didn't know it was that much. I guess I just wanted to say, you were always the best of us." "I'm sorry, I forgot that." I didn't reply. Some things don't need an answer, only distance. 2 months later, the commercial property Tyler opened went up for lease. Carter Auto and Detail never even launched. I heard through a mutual acquaintance that Tyler defaulted on the loan, that Mom tried to help again, but this time the bank denied her. Poetic. As for me, I bought a quiet cabin outside Boulder, not for anyone else, just for me. And one morning, sitting on the porch with coffee in hand, I opened my laptop and started writing a letter, not to them. To the man I used to be. You tried to earn love by being useful. You gave and they took. But here's the truth. You were never wrong for being generous. They were wrong for seeing your goodness as a resource instead of a relationship. You didn't lose your family. You simply stopped financing your own neglect. If you enjoyed this story, please give a thumbs up to the video and consider subscribing to the channel for more powerful true life stories.